Hey everyone, it's me, Jessica, and I'm here today to guide you through your Friday mind-body connection. We're going to start in one amazing minute. One amazing minute in Sukhasana, in easy pose. I'm ready for some yoga. I hope that you are as well. Feel free to grab a beverage for yourself. I recommend water. You can enjoy whatever makes you feel good. Okay. I think I shall come a little closer. This Friday feels very Monday. Fred. Okay, welcome. Thank you so much for coming today. Thank yourself so much for making this time. Let's come on down to our mats and come into whatever seated position feels right for you. If you already know that your hips are tight, but you automatically sit yourself up on a block, maybe just experiment a little, a couple of breaths before you take that prop to help you open your hip flexors. Think about bringing your hands to your knees, maybe even gently pressing those knees down to help you find a little bit more open. Maybe you just go for a little more of a wide leg position just to practice for a second. Grounding your glutes with the floor. We'll take this time to come into our breath. To start to slow the day down, whatever it is that's on your mind or that was on your mind before your practice started, be it good or bad, I encourage you to just push that to the side. Everything that needs to be done will still get done and will only be done more efficiently because you did take this time out for yourself today. All right, let's do a couple of slow nods. So make sure that your belly is pulled in for a little bit of engagement. Notice if you're hinging forward. Can you stack your ears over your shoulders, over your hips? Maybe palms are facing up towards the ceiling to help you receive all the awesome energy that's out there. Or you're going for a little bit more grounding with the palms facing down on your thighs. On your next inhale, lift your eyes, nose, chin up towards the ceiling. Find that big stretch and engagement of your throat. And on your exhale, gently tuck your chin towards your chest. Make those breaths long and slow. Inhale, look up. Maybe even look back, or you can keep your eyes closed and exhale. Tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale up. Exhale down. Let's get 2 more times in each direction. Inhale up. Exhale down. Do your best to really keep those shoulders relaxed away from your ears as well. Elbows hanging heavy towards the floor. Last one, inhale up. Exhale down, keeping your chin to your chest. Maybe lifting up a little bit. Look over to the right and look over to the left. Still using your breath to inhale to one direction. Exhale to the opposite direction. Still working to keep those shoulders released away from our ears, elbows hanging heavy towards the floor, sit bones ground with the mat, and stomach sucked in. Just explore the range of motion that feels good for you today and continue to focus on a nice, slow, relaxed breath. Okay, take a moment tucking your chin down towards your chest. We're going to make some circles with the neck now. Depending on how you're feeling today, maybe you want to release your head all the way back, or maybe you still want to keep the motion on the frontal plane. Really work to open your chest, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Slight additional tucking of that chin towards the chest here in these neck circles. Help you feel a little bit more of a stretch on the back of your neck. If you find any spot that's feeling particularly tense or uncomfortable and you want to pick your fingers up and help to massage out that space, please go for it. Awesome. Next time your chin comes down towards the chest, take a moment with it there. Find some length through your upper back towards the ceiling, and use your next inhale to gently stack your head back over your heart, over your hips. Bring your hands palms together in Namaskar and allow your thumbs to touch on the sternum. You might want to have your elbows just relax down and really focus on the pressure that you're creating of your thumbs against your chest, or perhaps you want to wake your back up a little bit more, working to get your elbows in one line, really pressing your palms towards each other, taking the opportunity to engage your abdominal core more as well. Think to slow down and deepen your breath even more, really noticing a relaxed breath, particularly compared to how your practice started today. Maybe starting to practice that ujjayi breathing, a slight constriction of the throat with the tip of your tongue pressing against the top of your mouth by the back of your teeth. If you'd like to set an intention for today's practice, for your day, for the weekend, now's a beautiful time to do so. And if that sounds weird, just continue with your breath. On your next exhale, allow your hands to just come down into your lap. Explore the idea of palms facing up towards the ceiling, really starting to work to receive the energy of the world out there, even if that sounds really weird to you right now. I know I thought it sounded weird when I first started practicing yoga, and now I find myself like, oh, where's my stone? So that I can feel more relaxed if I wear my stone. Okay. All right. Shake those shoulders out just a little bit. Let's go for some really big shoulder awakenings. So turn your hands, palms back down. Palms are touching on your thighs or knees. You can even press into them a little bit as you inhale and draw those shoulders all the way up towards your ears. Pull that belly in, press your sit bones to the floor, maybe your right shoulder higher, left shoulder higher, 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 higher. Really big inhale, hold it, and on your exhale, relax those shoulders all the way down. Two more just the same. So pull that belly in nice and tight. Maybe you find a little length of the spine. Inhale those shoulders all the way up. Keep them rising the whole way up. Nice slow inhale. Pull that belly in. Hold it. And exhale. Oh, all the way down. Release. One more. Squeezing tighter, tighter, higher, higher. And exhale. Let it all hang out. All right, maybe give yourself a couple sexy little shoulder circles right there. Next up, we're just going to bring some attention to our amazing hands. I want you to spread your fingers really wide as your palm span will go, even feeling the stretching between the connective webs of your fingers. All right, with those awesome energy hands, We're slowly going to reach up towards the ceiling, like your fingers are pushing through mud or marshmallow. That sounds a lot better. All the way up towards the ceiling, reach up towards the ceiling with these incredibly spread out fingers, just feeling the energy, and then like you're hanging from a tree, like you're the just hanging there cat, maybe taking a little tension into your fingers, the way you would hold on to a branch or a swing, and then maybe making a really big fist, really squeezing those hands, palms together, seeing how that activates through the arms, through the upper body, and then open those fingers really wide. Maybe make some circles with your hands, some wiggling of those fingers. And then I want you to bring some spirit fingers into the action and really make those fingers rain all the way down to the floor. Fingers rain down to the floor, right in front of you. Oh, I forgot to tell you, we're gonna change up our legs. Okay, so bring your hands back to your lap for a second. If you did find that sitting on the floor was uncomfortable and you still want to take a little bit of a lift, now is a great time to lift yourself up because we're going to get a little bit of a hip stretch here. So we're going to bring our feet into success in meditation. Start with your left foot folded in and your right foot to the front. And if you did the opposite, that's okay. I'm just going to talk about the way that you would feel the stretch if your left foot was in first. Great. So you have your hands down on the floor. If you're up on a prop, you'll really want to focus on taking a nice forward lean and then start to walk those hands forward. As we start to come forward, think about shining your elbow creases forward to allow you to bring those forearms down towards the mat. You can even open those palms up towards the ceiling once again. And if your left foot is the one towards the inside, you will feel a little bit more of a stretch as the right hip opens. Think towards pressing the outside of your knees towards the floor as well. And from here, you can just gently sway side to side. And as you bring that little side to side movement, you're going to feel the stretch going down the sides of your body into those hip insertions. Allow your head to go along for the ride, just feeling kind of good, creating some space between those shoulders. Move at the pace that feels right for you. Take 2 more breaths right here. And then if you had your hands up, place your palms back down on the floor, straighten your arms, take your time as you walk your hands back in. Lift yourself back up. Take another moment right here, just in Sukhasana, an easy pose, opening up that chest, shoulder blades squeeze towards each other, back to your slow, still breath. Make sure you're breathing all the way down to that bitty bottom of your diaphragm. Feeling your belly expand. All right, I'm going to come off of this block because for me, being a little lifted kept me from feeling the opening in the hips, and this time we're just going to switch our feet. So for success in meditation, you're working towards the idea of having your ankles completely in line and one invisible behind the other, but you know, it's just practice, it's not perfect. So if you find that you need to find a little bit more of a loose cross, of a deeper cross, if you're sitting more in what looks like crisscross applesauce, I just want you to work to have your feet staggered in front of each other. And then let's go ahead and we'll do the same thing for the other side. Let's start with those awesome spider hands. So opening up your chest, maybe draw those elbows back and then reach your spider hands like an awesome tree. Really find the length up towards the ceiling and this time explore where it's coming from. Is it from shoulders reaching up towards your ears? If so, use that exhale to create some space in your upper body and work to find that lifted length from your core. Maybe this time you want to sway a little bit side to side like a beautiful tree in the breeze. Maybe Maybe you still want to wiggle your fingers or make some fists, like you're pollen and you're sending yourself out. You're everywhere. Awesome. Okay, stretch up towards the ceiling once more. Find that length from your waist. Pull your belly in and then rain your fingers down, spirit fingers. Getting some mobility in those hands as we reach them all the way down, and then press the pads of the fingers into the floor. Find that nice flat back, long spine as you start to walk your hands forward. Elbow creases start to shine forward as you work to bring your forearms down towards the ground. And it's okay if you can't get your forearms all the way down. Take that extra wrinkle out of your neck. Allow your chin to hang heavy towards the floor. And once again, come into this nice little sway side to side. Once again, slow your breath down. Maybe you came back to that Ujjayi breathing right here. Bring your hands, palms back down to the floor. We're going to pull ourselves up, uncross your legs, coming into tabletop. And from here, we're going to enjoy some nice cat-cow. Explore which cat-cow feels good for you today. So maybe moving away from just the traditional rounding and arching of your back. Think about starting to make some circles with your hips. Starting to press those hips back towards your heels. Maybe bringing your shoulders forward of your hands. So we're also warming those wrists up, getting a little flexion. Maybe you want to turn your wrist over. Because we do have a little down dog coming up. We're going to get some shoulder stretch before we hit that down dog, but I do encourage you to find that warm up in your hands and your wrists that feels good for your body today. We'll take about 4 or 5 more breaths, just finding the movement that feels good for you, that feels like the appropriate warm up. Ooh. Awesome. Go ahead, turn your hands, palms back over. Come back into a true tabletop. So hands under chest, hips on top of knees. Keep your left hand ground with the mat. Keep the tops of your feet pressed down as well. So your knees are pressed down, your belly is pulled in, you're engaged in your lower half. We're going to inhale the right arm up towards the ceiling and look at it. Look at all 5 of your beautiful fingers touching each other. And then you're going to exhale and thread the needle, bringing the right temple down towards the floor. You can even shift the weight over towards the right and do whatever you want with the left hand. Maybe it stays right here, just pressing into the floor underneath of your shoulder, giving you some support. Maybe you want to find a little extra stretch in that shoulder, walking your left hand forward. Maybe you want to find a little opening of your chest. So inhaling left arm up towards the ceiling and bending at your elbow, reaching towards your right hip, and then drawing left elbow back. So many different options to just find a stretch that feels right for you, wherever you found yourself. Let's take 3 more breaths. Okay, use your next inhale to reach that arm back up towards the ceiling if it was behind you, or start to walk it back in underneath of your chest. Press into your left hand palm. Inhale your right arm back up towards the ceiling. Eyes look up at those 5 beautiful fingers touching side by side. And then exhale your right hand down towards the floor. Come back into a moment of engagement. Press into your hands, palms, shake it out. Just notice how your back feels. You feel a little bit more open and relaxed and released. Let's go ahead, get that nice big shoulder stretch on the opposite side. So this time, Right hand stays down on the floor. Press the tops of your feet into the floor. Squeeze your glutes. Pull your belly in and inhale. Left arm up towards the ceiling. Eyes look up at your hands. All 5 of your beautiful fingers side by side. And then exhale. Thread the needle. Bring that left temple towards the floor, even shifting the weight. Find what feels good for this side with your right hand, and it might be different than your other side. Maybe you choose to just continue pressing your hand palm into the floor. That's going to help you to get the similar shoulder opening that inhaling, or chest opening, that inhaling your arm up and reaching back will get, while still having some support on the mat. It can help you to maybe get a little bit deeper while really pressing into the floor, as opposed to focusing on the twist, or you still have that option to walk your fingers forward. Wherever it is that you found yourself, take 3 more breaths right here. All right, if you walk that hand forward or stretch it up towards the ceiling, take your time, bring it back in. Bring it under your shoulder, apply some pressure into it as you inhale your left arm up, look at it. And exhale, release your hand down to the floor. Go ahead, bring your toes together, walk your knees out nice and wide, send your hips back towards your heels. Once again, walk your hands forward. One more stretch on the shoulders in child's pose. Depending on how your body feels today, you might have those hands extended all the way forward to bring an extra stretch down through your back, through the lats. If you want, you can even inhale and really press your hands into the floor, and exhale, stretch your hips back towards your heels. Or if it feels better to be a little bit more passive, maybe elbows bent and forearms right by your head, or even stretching your hands back so that your palms are facing up towards the ceiling, a little bit more pressure on the top of your head, but an opportunity to open up the back and shoulders a little more. Find whatever feels good and supportive to you today. Beautiful. If you walked your hands all the way back, gently begin to walk them towards the front of the mat. We're going to pull ourselves forward. You can separate your hands a little bit wider as we come into a straight arm seal or a version of cobra. Work to press that pubic mound down towards the mat and pull your chest through. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Look up towards the ceiling. Take the tension out of your glutes. Go ahead, tuck your toes under, send your hips up towards the ceiling. I'm gonna take a moment to tuck my tank top in like a winner. We're gonna send our hips up towards the ceiling to enjoy some down dog. So if you too want to make a costume adjustment, ask yourself why. Is anyone going to see you? If no one's gonna see you, let your shirt move around. Love the body that you have today. However, if it would be inappropriate for you work-wise to show some skin, then for sure, take a moment, tuck your shirt in. All right, and once you get up here into down dog, pedal through your heels, maybe both at the same time, maybe taking some big bends in your knees, and then working to press your heels to the floor, maybe shifting weight forward a little bit, forward and back, as you're still finding a nice little warm up in those wrists. Remember, you can take as generous
of a bend in your knees as you need to really work to send your belly towards your thighs and line your biceps up with your ears. All right, take a moment and see if you can relax and release those heels down towards the floor. An opportunity to straighten those legs and shake your hips a little left and right. Get a nice stretch in the glutes, deep into the hamstrings, and then I want you to really take your time as you walk your feet forward. Walk your feet all the way forward. As you get closer towards those hands palms, feel free to take a bend in the knee, even sitting your hips back. You don't have to feel pressure to have your hands on the floor. You can grab hold of your opposite elbow. Take a slight tucking of your chin to your chest and keep as generous of a bend in your knees as you want to so that you're in charge of how large of a stretch you get on your hamstrings. Perhaps you'd like to sway gently side to side. Maybe you're starting to bring a little bit more weight forward into your toes and send your hips a little higher up towards the ceiling to feel more of a stretch on the back of your legs. Gently begin to release your hands down towards the floor if they go there. Option to even step on your hands and come into some gorilla pose. Notice if you are squeezing those shoulders around your ears or creating any extra tension in your upper back, and really relax and release here as much as possible. Where are your eyes looking if they're open? Think about looking in that space between your feet as opposed to tucking your chin towards your chest and looking all the way at the wall behind you, which can cut off your throat, or bringing extra wrinkles towards your neck and looking forward. It did actually feel good to give myself some yes or no's. So before we stand up, if you want to take a moment and shake your head yes, shake your head no. If you're in gorilla pose, gently removing your hands from under your feet and slowly rolling yourself up. One vertebrae at a time as you stack your ears over your shoulders. Inhale those arms up overhead. And exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Let's get a nice little hip opener going here. So once again, inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale, swan dive down towards the floor, keeping that belly pulled in nice and tight. Inhale into a half lift. So straighten your legs, weight in the heels, find a nice flat back. There can be a little bend in your knees. Take the wrinkles out of your neck, so still looking down towards the floor, and then exhale down into your forward fold. Let's do that same thing one more time. So slowly, gently roll yourself up. Arms come up overhead, still on your same inhale and exhale. Hands come down to heart center, back in Anjali Mudra or Namaskar. All right, same thing. Inhale, arms up overhead, belly tight. Feet are ground. Exhale. Rain or swan dive down towards the floor. Inhale into a nice half lift. Find that length. Eyes look down. And exhale down into your forward fold. Keep your left foot planted. Step your right leg back. Go ahead, release your right knee down towards the floor. Untuck those toes and inhale, stretch up towards the ceiling. As you reach up towards the ceiling, you might need to wiggle that left foot forward. We're going to exhale and push ourselves forward into that nice big hip opener. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Still spreading those fingers nice and wide into those stimulating spider hands that we created earlier. Take one more inhale, lift up, and exhale, rain your fingers down towards the floor. Tuck your right toes under, lift them, and inhale to step your feet together. Exhale down into your forward fold, and inhale, slowly, gently roll yourself up. Arms come up overhead. Exhale, palms come together at heart center. Other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms come down and around. Inhale into that big half lift. Exhale into your forward fold. Plant those hands on the floor. Inhale as you step your left leg back. Release that knee down towards the floor as you exhale. Untuck your toes. Inhale, lift yourself up. Start to push those hips forward. Once again, make sure that your knee is stacked around your ankle or the arch of your foot. Hips are squared with the mat. Really find that reach up. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Take one more big inhale. Find that lift from your waist, a gentle squeeze of your left glute, and then exhale, relax your fingers down towards the floor. Inhale as you tuck your left toes under. Step your feet together. And exhale. Back down into your forward fold. Inhale, slowly roll yourself up, one vertebrae at a time, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands back down to heart center. Take just a couple of breaths right here. Let's add on a little bit from there. So inhale, stretch up towards the ceiling. Exhale, swan dive down towards the floor. Inhale up into a half lift, flat back. Exhale down into your forward fold. Inhale, step your right leg back. This time, don't bring that knee down. And then inhale, arms up overhead. Coming into some sort of a warrior one or crescent warrior. We're going to exhale, bring that right hand back and open up into warrior two. Make sure that you have that front knee bent and turn and look over that front side. And on our inhale, the right arm is going to swing down. We're going to turn our ankle coming back into warrior one, crescent warrior. So the ball of the foot's on the floor, the heel is lifted. Exhale, rain yourself down. Use that inhale to press off the back ball of the foot. Step your feet together. Find that half lift and exhale down to your forward fold. Inhale, slowly roll yourself up. One vertebrae at a time, arms come up overhead, and exhale, hands come down to heart center. Other side, inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward, fold. Inhale into your half lift. And exhale into that true forward fold. Plant your hands, step your left leg back. Don't plant that knee if you don't need to. Inhale those arms up overhead, coming into a crescent warrior. Using that next exhale, opening yourself out to the side. So left hand comes towards the back of the room. Look forward over your right hand fingertips. Increase the bend in that right knee. Take a big inhale and exhale. Swing back forward to warrior one, turn that back heel. Use your exhale to bring your hands down towards the floor. Use your inhale to step your feet together, come into your half lift, shoulders away from ears. Exhale down to forward fold. Inhale, slowly, gently roll yourself up. Bring those arms up overhead. This time as you exhale, bring your hands down to heart center, sit your hips down into chair pose. Really reach for that chair behind you. Might even want to open your feet a little bit wider for a nice stable base. Take a big inhale, exhale, sit down a little bit deeper. Inhale all the way back up to mountain. Stretch those arms up overhead. Exhale, relax your arms down by your side. Beautiful heel toe those feet out a little bit wider, about mats width distance apart. And again, my favorite stretch for our desk life. So toes are pointed out about 45 degrees. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, still raining those fingertips down towards the floor. Bring some weight into your heels. We're gonna just come into a squat. Then we're gonna lift it up, come into a dangle. You can turn your toes forward as we come into a dangle and a forward fold. Using your inhale to gently lift yourself up to a half lift, turn those toes out, and your exhale, weight comes into heels, coming into your squat. Really work to drop your booty. Inhale, lift yourself up. Exhale, turn your feet forward, back to that forward fold. Inhale, come up to your half lift. Exhale, turn your feet out, sit down into your squat. Maybe starting to lift your hands up off the floor if that's possible for you. Inhale, lifting your hips, hands come back down towards the floor, feet turn forward. Exhale, releasing, head down, big stretch from the back of the legs, forward fold. One more time each side. Inhale, lifting up into that half lift. Turning your feet out. Exhale, weighten your heels, sit down into that squat. Lift up those hands for Malasana. Inhale, hands come back down towards the floor. Glutes lift, feet turn forward, and exhale. Back into that forward fold. Maybe even shake your glutes a little left and right. Awesome. Inhale up into that half lift, a nice flat back. See if you can keep your heels invisible behind your toes for this one. Start to bring a little bit more weight forward to your toes. Do your best to really stack your glutes on top of your heels instead of having those hips stretching towards the back of the room. So we've got that nice half lift. The weight is shifted forward underneath of our hands palms. Keep your left hand down on the floor and inhale, right arm up towards the ceiling. Your hips might even shift a little over to the right, and that's okay. Just make sure you're still grounding through all four corners of the feet on the floor. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, release your right hand down to the mat. Inhale, left arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale. Release, left hand down towards the mat. Turn your fingers towards the back of the room and just start to walk your hands further back. Maybe take a slight bend on your knees on the inhale, and exhale, lift those hips up a little bit higher. Just explore the depth that you can get in this stretch, starting to bring a little bit more weight into your toes as you exhale and lift your hips up. Go for it one more time. See how far you can reach behind you, how much of a stretch you can create on the back of your legs. And then use your inhale to drag those fingertips forward. Plant them on the floor. Walk your legs in one at a time, coming back into tabletop. Let's take a moment and just sit in hero pose. So kneeling, stack your ears over your shoulders. Notice if you brought that extra arch into your back, and just find that flatness. Shoulders released away from your ears. Just back to our breath. Stillness. We're going to go ahead and shift ourselves over so we can kick our legs out in front of us. Take a moment as we get here to walk those glutes back, to sit ourselves up in staff pose. So fingers by your hips, chest nice and open, shoulder blades engaged, flexing those toes back towards your face. If this is too much of a stretch along the back of your legs, take that generous bend of your knees and even a hinge forward at your hips. If you're not feeling any sort of a stretch on the back of your legs, walk yourself forward a little bit more. Continue to flex those toes back towards your face. Relax and release shoulders away from your ears. Find a little lift through that chest. One more big inhale here. And exhale. Sit yourself back up into staff pose. Let's take a spine twist. Keep your left leg forward. Lift your right leg up and cross your right leg over your left. We'll take our right hand and place them close behind our back, like a little bit of a kickstand. So notice if you're already starting to crunch here, really press into those fingertips to open up your chest, maybe even feeling that real squeeze of your shoulder blade behind you. Keeping this chest lifted and some length from your spine. Inhale your left arm up towards the ceiling, and then exhale your left hand down towards the floor. If the floor feels really far away, do you have your mat that you can grab onto to help you squeeze those shoulder blades together? Find a little bit more lift of your chest. Think about even pressing the back of your left forearm into your right thigh to help you to open up that chest, stretch through the crown of your head. Take one more big deep inhale. Use your exhale to turn. Look over that right shoulder, twist. Couple extra breaths right here. Keep that belly pulled in. Keep that length from your spine. And on your next exhale, take your time. Gently untwisting, you can release your mat that you used as a prop to help you find your twist. Uncross your legs, windshield wipe your feet, bob your knees, whatever feels good. Maybe shaking out your chest and that back just a little bit. This time keeping your right leg forward. We're going to cross our left leg over the right. Doesn't matter how high you cross up your leg, just finding a place to ground your foot to the floor. Go ahead, bring your left hand behind you and press into the left hand fingertips. Really find some length in the spine. Find that rotation of your shoulder back before you rotate the rest of your body, just setting yourself up for success. Inhale your right arm up towards the ceiling and turn towards the left side as you exhale that right hand down towards the floor. Think about grabbing hold of your mat if it's there to help you apply a little bit more pressure to squeeze shoulder blades together, to open your chest, to find that extra lift and length through your spine. Use your next inhale to stretch up through the crown of your head and your exhale to turn and twist over your left shoulder. I still have my left hand fingertips really pressing into the floor. Nice straight spine, as straight as you can. Last 2 breaths right here. Use that next exhale to slowly turn yourself back around. Release the prop that you've taken hold of. Wiggle yourself forward just a little bit and then pull your belly in. See if you can use your abdominal cord. You might need to bring your fingers behind your thighs to slowly, one vertebrae at a time, lower yourself down to the mat. You made it. As you get here, kick your legs out as wide as feels comfortable. Open your arms as much as you want to. Take a moment to really adjust your body on your mat to be as supported as possible. Frequently we lay down and we're like, I'm so comfortable. And if you truly take a moment to scan your body, you notice that you laid down and you're tensing some weird muscles. So start from the top of your head and relax your eyes and your eyebrows. Relax your lips and your mouth. Maybe even shake out your jaw for a sec. Relieve all of the tension in your head. Bring that relaxing exhale into your neck, your shoulders, your chest. Enjoy the rise and the fall of your rib cage corresponding with your inhale and exhale. Think about continuing to send some extra space and breath to your hips, relaxing your glutes, your thighs, your knees, your ankles, your toes. Maybe even your fingers start to curl up in your palms as you focus on the awesome energy that you feel just swirling through your body, in your hand palm. Giving your body time to enjoy the stillness, to allow all of the moving meditation from your practice to sink in, for that freshly oxygenated blood to just continue to rush through and break down scar tissue. Let's spend 1 more minute together right here in silent savasana. you had trouble just being present in the moment, if the minute I stopped talking, your mind just started to stray to things you're worried about, things you need to do during the day, I want you to know that my mind did the same exact thing. So let's go ahead, take 3 more breaths, and really just focus on the breath. Tell those outside thoughts, I see you, I know that you're there, but this is my time to relax, to enjoy this moment, to get away from all of that stress. You're welcome to stay here in this final Savasana for as long as you need, as long as continues to honor you, or as long as you are just still working towards that stillness. And honestly, if it doesn't come today, come back tomorrow. If you are finished with your Savasana, you'd like to close practice out together, take some time, move with intention, and make your way to a seated position. And as you get there, let's go ahead, bring our hands, palms together, back at our heart center in Namaskar, just like we started class. Tuck your chin to your chest. Take a moment to truly honor yourself and just how amazing you are for making this time for yourself. However your practice looked or felt, setting the intention is what it's all about. If you have any questions or concerns about anything that we said or did today, I hope that you will please reach out. In the meantime, before you see me again, continue to think good thoughts, to speak good words, to eat good foods, to do good deeds, and all the beautiful things that nourish us from both the inside out. Bring your thumb up to your third eye, your drishti, and start to lift your elbows, your face up towards the ceiling. Keep grounding your sit bones into the floor. Find that extra opening of your heart and know that the light within me honors and sees the light within you. Thank you so much for coming and joining me in today's practice. I hope you'll join me again soon. Namaste.